I think we can all agree at this point that YouTube's WorkTheSpace is a cheating football manager tactic hacking fun sponge who ruins PvP football manager for everybody else with his try-hardy nerdiness. I'm not bitter. I'm just very good at describing people. But he has now given everybody the opportunity to become a fun sponge of their own in their own games, because he's put this enormous thread on his Twitter where he's basically gone through how he won the league. I was in the league. I didn't win it because I'm not a monster, unlike this man. But what he has done is, he's not completely shared the tactic file, which would have been really handy, but he has explained how the tactic is set up. So we're going to go through this, follow his steps, set up this tactic, and have a look to see if it's actually any good, to see if he was actually cheating or if it's just quite a good tactic. I'm not quite sure the criteria I'm going to apply to this decision making. I think what I might just do is present the facts, show it in action, and let you decide for yourself if it's overpowered or not. One thing I would like to say, Jack he's a rascal if he's not a cheat, because I am just glancing at the rules of the league as set up in our private Discord. So obviously I can't share the screen with you. Only a maniac would share the screen from a private Discord. But I am going to read to you Rule 2 as posted by Zealand. Do not use the tactic that won the Football Manager World Cup. You can basically use any tactic, but if I see you with 2 inside forwards on hold up play, personal instruction, you've clearly copied it. Now, in Jack's defence, he doesn't have 2 inside forwards on hold up play. He's followed the rules to the letter. He's got 1 inside forward on a hold up play personal instruction, and then a pressing forward who is asymmetrically out on the right hand side, also on a hold up play instruction. So fair play to him, he has followed the letter of the law. The man is a monster. Right, we're going to go through this step by step and set up this tactic and see if it's actually any good. And the team we're going to use for it is Manchester United. I've selected Manchester United because they're expected to finish just outside the Champions League qualification spots. According to the media prediction, they are significantly behind this top 4. So if we can win the league with Manchester United, Jack's a monster. And I think that is fair criteria to apply. So we need to set this up. And it's all custom from what I can tell. So we're going to start with a blank slate with this 3-4-3 as a basic starting shape. So create your own style. Give me a 3-4-3. That is pretty close to the shape that Jack's tactic has. From there, he's got a sweeper keeper on defend and 3 ball playing defenders also on defend, which we can set up nice and easily. He's got 1 of the defensive midfielders pushed forward into midfield as a centre mid on attack. And the other guy is a DM on support, the 2 wing backs both on attacking instructions. And then for the front 3, this winger on the right-hand side has been brought up next to the striker as a pressing forward. And then it's an inside forward on the left and an advanced forward up top. So that is our basic shape. We're then going to add in all of these instructions that he's got. So starting with in possession, we've got shorter passing, low crosses, focus play down the left and focus play down the right, an overlap on the left and an underlap on the right, which he does explain in his tweets, and then slightly higher tempo and narrow as the attacking width. In transition, we've got roll it out and distribute quickly, along with counter and counter press. And then out of possession, it's a higher defensive line and a high press, which looks like that. And then trigger press more often and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And then he's got step up more and invite crosses. So that is the basics of the tactic. Let's put some players into it so we can see what we're working with. There you go. Using Manchester United, best 11 to fit into that. I mean, to be fair, Manchester United do seem to fit that quite well, especially with their summer transfers. Although obviously Rashford not actually there because he's away on loan. So I guess it would be more like something like that is what it will actually be, which still pretty strong. So he's saying at home he played on attacking mentality and balanced away from home. We're going to simulate the season. I think for ease, we're just going to stick it onto attacking all the time. Because if in doubt, attack all the time. And then he does some explanation as to why he's got things set up the way he's got things. This, as far as I'm concerned, is Jack nerd speak that we don't need to delve into in too much detail. But what we are doing is trying to pick out key instructions that are hidden in the detail. One of which is his 3 ball playing defenders are all set to dribble more, because that allows them to step up and move into space to create passing lanes. So let's pop dribble more on each of these guys. We're not worried about how he's countering specific systems with it. We're not going to be doing that. We're just going to be simming. And we've already got the out of possession stuff set up exactly like that. But then we get to some specific player instructions, which the man himself does confirm are pretty important. So his defensive midfielder on support is set to hold possession. It looks like he has another variety of it on defend, but that's not in the basic version of the tactic, so we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to set up this hold position instruction on our defensive midfielder, which is there. And then the centre mid on attack has got all sorts of stuff, all sorts of shenanigans. He wants him to run wide with the ball and move into channels. So that's this guy, which for us will be Bruno Fernandes, run wide with the ball, move into channels. And then his wing backs are on 2 separate sets of instructions. So his right wing back is to run wide with the ball but sit narrower. So he's tucking into this space that's vacated by Fernandes. So sit narrower but then run wide. And the other guy is the opposite of that. He wants him to be wide on the overlap. So he sits wider, but then cuts inside. So he's doing the opposite movement. And then this is the one where I am calling shenanigans, because this is the naughty instruction, having your inside forward on hold up play. Very overpowered. We saw it a lot in the FIFA World Cup last summer. But we'll add these instructions: hold up play, roam from position, sit narrower, and then mark specific position. And that specific position that we're marking is the opposition right back. So that's all of that set up on Mbuemo. And then his pressing forward, the one that's not an inside forward on hold up play, is set to mark the left back just to make sure he does stay out wide. You little rascal, Jack. I see what you're doing here. You little rascal. There you go. Let's keep him out wide then. And then there's various tweaks that he tweaks for tweaking's sake. He then has this rather helpful little thing that shows how he sets up all of his set piece instructions. We weren't allowed to mess around with the set piece things beyond just using the wizard. So he just shows how he went through the wizard and then talks about how good he is at drafting for getting people who are good at taking corners, and then big strong boys for heading them in, which, to be fair, at Manchester United is something that, again, we're probably going to do quite well with. We've got some big strong boys at the back. We've got people who can take corners. So I think we should probably capitalise on that in a similar way to what Jack did. And then we've got a load more waffle. Loads more waffle. Look how great I am at drafting. My favourite part of this, which isn't relevant to the video, but I love it so much and I just want to ruffle his hair and call him a little dweeb, is the bit where he's actually blocked out parts of his spreadsheet because, and I quote, "I have my own algorithm for rating players' ability/attributes versus price to identify targets and perceived value for money." You're such a nerd, Jack. You are such a nerd. He had over 600 players in his short. I didn't go in with a short list. I just drafted. If this is what it takes to win in Football Manager PvP in 2025, I'm glad I retired after the Streamer Showdown. I'm much happier in the broadcast booth at the World Cup now. I'm no longer. This is my official retirement. I don't play PvP anymore. I comment on it from the sidelines because this is bonkers. No idea if anyone will read this far. I didn't. I read very little of it. No, Jack. What we need is a split. We need a tryhards league and a cool guys league. And I'll go in the cool guys league. Oh, my word. So after all that, this is what we end up with. We're not going to do transfers. We're not going to do anything else other than just holiday to the end of the season now. And then we'll see what happens, I guess. Let's see if Jack's a cheat or not. Your Honour, I rest my case. Manchester United winning the Premier League by 6 points, finishing 10 points ahead of where they should have finished in 5th, based on that pre-season preview. In fact, the media preview has them dropping down to 6th, and that is obviously based on club reputation, quality of the squad, etc., etc. And they've won the league with not a single player in the media dream 11. I mean, that Arsenal midfield is an interesting domination of the media dream 11, but yeah, not a single Manchester United player in there. but it hasn't stopped them winning the league. Bruno Fernandes is second top scorer out of central midfield with 19 goals. He's also right up there for assists, man of the matches. It seems like a system that very much suits Mr. Fernandes. Let's have a look at the top scorers. Yeah, there is Bruno Fernandes, 22 goals, 13 assists, a 7.31. He is loving life playing in that centre mid on attack instruction. Cunha, Sesko and Buemo sharing the rest of the goals relatively evenly between them. Even Højlund got 10 goals from only 4 starts because of substitute appearances coming into that crazy attack. Also interesting to see just how dominant the fullbacks have been. Dalot and Shaw. Dalot with 8 goals, 13 assists. Shaw with 8 goals, 9 assists, both with very high average ratings. So it's definitely getting the best out of the front three, the centre mid, the wing backs. De Ligt, obviously, is a guy who would have benefited from the corners. Not that we could put on personalised corner instructions, but he's a big, strong boy and would have scored from them anyway. And then other players who stand out for their performances. I mean, Casemiro barely played. Obviously, we had a pretty set team deliberately. Harry Maguire not scoring a single goal suggests, I guess, we weren't aiming at Harry Maguire. Even Ugarte at the base of the midfield seems like he's had a very nice time. The only player in that starting 11, in fact, there were a couple not getting above a 7 on average. Onana didn't seem to... I guess he wasn't tested very much on. Buemo got 15 goals but didn't play particularly well, and Lisandro Martinez not enjoying being part of that back three, which is odd because you think it would suit him down to the ground. If we go back in, one other thing to check, of course, is the goals from set pieces, goals from corners specifically, because this is without a corner instruction on. There you go, goals from corners. So Fulham with the most with 14, Manchester United second with 11. So not quite as dominant as Jack was, but obviously that's because we didn't get to pick the players. We just had to make do with what we already had here at Manchester United. So just those set piece instructions that he's using have taken a team to one of the best set piece teams in the country without even having to add on your own specific like corner instructions, corner takers, that kind of thing. So I think it's fair to say, I think we can all agree, Jack is a cheating monster. And I imagine if he was able to load up his very specific corner instruction and stick him out there as an inside forward on attack, which obviously he wanted to do, and have him there as a holding up play, which is probably the only change from what this would have been if he'd have been able to do whatever he wanted. But yeah, it's just, look at the state of it. That's not a football format. I hate it. I hate it. Is this what FM at PvP has become? I want no part of this. Oh, Jack, you really are a fun sponge. If people asking why there's no network game on FM26, this, I mean, unless we do it so early that he's not read the instruction manual yet, which might be the only way through. My word. And I should add a disclaimer here at the end of the video for anyone who gets this far. I love Jack with all of my heart and don't actually think he's a cheat. He's an adorable little rascal. I think it's hilarious how much effort he puts into this, how obsessed he is with all of the instructions and actually knowing what they all do. It's ridiculous. And I guess to be admired in a, like, it's really admirable when someone gets really, really over enthusiastic about a thing that you shouldn't be that into. I mean, I'm autistic. This is me with Lego. So, you know, I'm just as bad. But oh, Jack, this is absurd. Stop doing things like this. Let somebody else have a go. I prefer the old days of the Streamer Showdown when none of us really tried properly and I just won it. Those were the days, weren't they? Boys and girls, hopefully you've enjoyed this slightly different video on the channel. Like I said in yesterday's episode 1 of The Football Empire, things are going to be a little bit different between now and FM26 because my main series, I just can't do daily videos on. So there are going to be little bits like this here and there that fill some of the gaps for you so we can keep that content train rolling. Obviously, we'll have FM26 news and reactions and things when they come as well. And stuff like this, if there's anything else you want to see me take a deep dive on, whether it's a tweet thread, a tactic, or just my thoughts on aspects of Football Manager, some experiments we can do, I'm open to the next month or two being absolute experimentation carnage here on the channel, and hopefully you enjoy coming along for the ride with me. If you want to help shape the future of this channel, being actively involved in the next couple of months is a great way to do that, because we're going to learn some lessons. We're going to try some things. We're going to release some videos that are absolute bobbins and some that are really, really good. And we're going to decide as a group how to approach the future based on what we learn now. So let me know in the comments section what you think of the videos. Get involved on the Discord. And let's see where we can take the channel over the next couple of months as we prepare for FM26. One direction we're not going to take it in is Jack's try-hard direction. Don't you worry about that, boys and girls. But if you have enjoyed this one, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Football Manager content of all kinds of flavours. And thank you very much for watching. Jack's a cheat, Jack's a cheat, Jack's a cheat.